Yeah, you're good. Well, hopefully everybody will tell you, because we are back, ladies and gentlemen, episode 28 of the Drayage Junkies. It is fantastic to be back. Hope everybody had a good holiday, week after holidays. And I guess we're getting ready for some more holidays. So you don't only have the heavy load of family coming around that time. But we got some heavy haul drays that we're going to be talking about today. We got a couple of Steve's good buddies down there in Orangeburg, South Carolina. And we got some news coming your way. But everybody, welcome back to it. Be sure to kick back, relax. We're about to crush some cans today and bring you another rip-roaring episode of the Drayage Junkies.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother? I thought I lost you there for a second. I got to send out the show to everybody, and it just freezes up. Tune in and share. How you doing, man? See, you got that ugly sweatshirt on there.
No, man. Shit. Here we go.
Jimmy's
Here we go. I wore that just for you and all my Alabama fans.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, how's your week been, brother? How was last week treating you?
Ah, it was good. It's good. No complaints. This week's been packed. Had a little water pump issue on one of the trucks. We had to get rectified this morning, but all in all, it's a pretty good week. I got my boyos over there at Paperboy. They're running hard for us this week, so yeah, it's good to be in Drayage. How about you?
Oh man, it's the same story as last week. It's just been busy, but that's good. Got to pack up that December and waiting on a container to come in through Houston, which that's something I'm gonna be talking to you on the back end after this show, man. It's I wanted to start diving into the true cost savings compared to time with some of these ports, because that customer rerouted from California to Texas to split up all these loads, and it's just not making sense in their checkbook. So please get those trucks down there, Steve, so we can make it make sense for them. But
hey, we can drop a truck down there anytime, as long as we got the volume to support it.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It can happen. But yeah, I don't know. Had some interesting stuff come up. But other than that, we're rocking and rolling. Glad to be back. Got to get myself together to go to this truck show down there in Birmingham this weekend, so that'll be fun. But yeah, dude.
Next one for E and I will probably be Matt's. Will probably be the next one for Ethan. I don't know if we're gonna do anything before that.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one that's hitting this show, and the only reason I am hitting it is because it's only like an hour and a half away from my sister's house, and she's about to have that baby, so I'm gonna pop over there, get some family time in, get out of Tennessee for a little bit before I'm stuck here for I don't know, a good 2-3 months.
Nice.
But well, heck yeah. Well, glad to hear you're doing good, brother. You ready to get to some news?
Let's do it. And then we'll bring on our friends.
All right. IT Bri, if you could pull up that Trucking News Hub page there, brother, so we can let the people know where we got this from. Does he got it? All right, we're just going to go ahead and do this. All right, y'all, today's news brought to you by truckandnewshub.com, as always, and Road Dog Coffee Company. Go buy some coffee, because what goes really great together there, Steve?
Coffee, Road Dog Coffee, and trucking.
Truckandnewshub.com. Well, this is typically a story that you'd probably see on the Logistics Lounge, but, I think enough vessels have caught on fire. But now we're talking about the good old trucks that pull from these ports, and don't really see these cats in the news too much, but we got 11,000 international trucks being recalled for parking brake problems that could cause crashes. So saying here, this is news as of today, International Motors LLC has recalled thousands of newer model trucks for a problem related to the parking brake system that could increase the risk of a crash. The recall affects 11,418 international trucks, with an estimated 100% of recalled vehicles having that defect. I still don't know how they let this get off the line, Steve. It blows my mind. You think they'd do like one test,
Right?
but
Exactly.
yeah. So according to the recall documents issued by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and this got called out in November. Under certain conditions, the auto neutral function for the transmission may not recognize the application of the parking brake. Not good. If the transmission does not recognize the parking brake is applied, it can remain in gear. If the transmission remains in gear while in service, remains in gear while the service brakes are not applied, the engine's internal or initial vehicle movement mode may begin to apply torque to the driveline, possibly causing the vehicle to move unexpectedly, increasing the risk of crash or injury, which is insane. So it's like when we were talking about those fires last week. Like if it starts heating up, it's just a chain reaction. But this is even scarier. But so the make and models for this, it's obviously international. We got the LT and the RH. The LT years are from 2023 to 2026, and the RH is from 2023 also to 2026. So if you have any of those model trucks of those years, be sure to reach out. Let's see if they have a way for you to find out. Oh, okay. Here's a good game we got. Scroll up, Brian. So Steve can't see this unless you already did. In order to remedy the defect, dealers will replace the quick release valve on the rail axle free of charge. Owner notifications later are expected to be mailed on. What was your guess? Have you already seen it?
No.
Yeah, they're not mailing it out until January 19th of 2026.
So anybody that doesn't stop or can't stop or their truck starts moving on its own between now and then, you're on your own.
Well, see, that's the thing that we've always complained about too. It's like you think instead of this getting released to the news, which everybody doesn't read the news, but if you were on truckandnewshub.com and got your morning email sent in, you'd probably find this out. But yeah, not getting any notification until late January of next year. So truck owners, if you have this make model or have any concerns, you can reach out to International's customer services at 1-800-448-7825 and reference recall number 25524. Once again, the recall number is 25524. So not looking very good for International truck stocks today, because I didn't know people still bought those, truth be told.
I didn't, but one thing I can assure you, even though this was, this was not necessarily drayage related, but one thing that's extremely important to have brakes and make sure your brakes are working right is when you're moving some heavy ass shit, and that's where our friends Brannan and Kevin, also known as D-Water, come into play with this. So let's bring them to stage.
All right. Let's go. We got Brannan up here. Where's old D-Water at? Brown.
What do you do? There he is.
There's Brannan. All right, we're getting better.
Hey,
come on.
How you doing? There we go, fellas. There we go. How you guys doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Great, man.
Man, pretty good. Thanks for having us on today. We're really honored to be on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you hear me?
We got you.
Yeah,
we got you.
We can hear you, D-Water.
Okay, yes, sir. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yeah. So a little bit
I'm still out here rolling, so
he's on the road.
Podcast here.
So a little bit about us, real quick. I'm Brannan, and don't hear anything. You got us.
Well, I'm gonna mute Kevin. Go ahead, Brannan.
All right, yeah. So a little bit about us. I help Kevin quite a bit with his trucking, as well as a number of other carriers. I have a business where I help carriers find loads, get access to loads, working with brokers. Basically, anything that they have to do administrative wise is what I really take care of, so that they can stay on the road, stay driving, etc.
I can't hear anything. Nobody.
Yeah, so that's basically what we work on here. And Kevin, as you can see, is out on the road, so has a lot to share about what he's got going on, and a lot of loads that he carries. So that's what we want to just talk a little bit about. Ups and downs, what's going on in the heavy haul space specifically. Kevin, you there? You got us?
He might have to hop back out and back in. Can you hear us, Kevin?
Let's see.
Yeah, if you got a phone call, yeah, Steve, just give him a shout and tell him to hop out and hop back in. But while we're waiting on that, Brandon, go ahead and tell us, man. So, how'd you get into this? You know, like break it back to, you know, were you in high school and like we're like, man, I love trucks.
Actually, no. I've actually been in a tech for a big part of my career, and I was born in South Carolina, ended up moving back, and got caught up with Kevin, where we met, and he just started sharing a bunch of stories about the struggles of heavy haul or carriers dealing with, you know, whether it be brokers or things going on at the port, just a lot of the inefficiencies. So we just started talking about, man, how can he find opportunities and find loads and things like that. So that's when I came in and said, hey, how about I'll do the administrative stuff and you can stay out there on the road, and I'll work with him around the schedule, work with him about where he wants to go, how frequently he wants to carry loads, and the types of loads, work on pricing, because there's a lot of back and forth negotiating rates with brokers. So that's a big part of it, and that's what we deal with quite a bit. So that's really what I got into.
So you're kind of like a mix between you know, like almost a dispatcher, and then you're also doing the consulting side. So not just like making sure they have loads, but helping them keep above water with, you know.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, above and beyond just dispatching. But hey, is everything operating smoothly? All his documentation, correspondence. A big thing that we run into is, where are you at? Where's he at? That we get that a lot from, whether it be the broker or whether it be the customer that's reached out to them. That's always saying, hey, what time here, what time there, this has changed, that's changed. And so I help him quite a bit with coordinating that. As you can see, he's on the road a lot. So that impacts customers over time when they can't reach or access their load, especially what's on the back of the truck.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So did you, when you first started working with Kevin, like, was he already doing the overweight out of gauge stuff, or was he just doing traditional drayage? Because I mean, for even just your standard broker, drayage is Chinese, man. People just don't understand it. They don't understand the processes, the flows, the timing. Yeah. But then you add on another, you know, dynamic to the niche, which, you know, I don't know how to do this overweight stuff, and I've been at it for almost 10 years now. So
right. Yes, he was already doing containers when I connected with him. But what's a struggle was when it became heavy equipment. That was the misunderstanding that people had around how to price it, or permits and things of that nature is a big issue in this space, because everything is 80,000 pounds and above, over too wide, too tall, all of those types of things. So that's the type of things. Kev, you back?
Oh yeah, I'm back. All
right, loud and clear. Go.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Yeah, Kev, if you get a phone call, by the way, it'll mute you out. So I don't know if you did, but if you do, just hop out and hop back in again. Because
all right, gotcha.
Yeah, man. Go ahead and tell us about who you are, Kev. You know, how'd you got your start in driving, and how'd you get where you are today?
Oh man, what's up, everyone? My name is Kevin, aka D Water, aka Dark Water, whichever one you want to call me. As you can see, I'm out driving right now, but started in trucking, man, maybe about 18 years ago, and stopped for a minute when I was living in New York, and when I came back down south, I got back into trucking, and I just took it from there. And actually, I used to work with Steve there over at Pepsi. That was my manager there, and I decided to get my own truck and started in the drayage field. I had a lot of family members that was driving already and had their own trucks doing containers. And I just saw how it was and how lucrative it was for them. And I'm like, hey, I need to be a part of this. So I just went and jumped out the window and went from there. And been doing it ever since, until maybe about 3 years ago. And then I started doing heavy haul now. But with heavy haul, I'm still in and out of the ports. A lot of stuff, machines, crates, stuff of that nature still comes out of the ports here in South Carolina. So I'm either in Wando Port sometimes, which is in Mount Pleasant, and I'm on also in Meeting Street, Columbus Terminal. So those are the 2 ports I frequently visit here in South Carolina in Charleston. But that's pretty much about it. My life of trucking, and I've been doing it. Can't see me doing anything else because I love my freedom.
So you mentioned, and you were breaking up a little bit there towards the end, but that's the joys of going live stream while you're on the road. But the first picture here that we pulled up was a big ass wooden box that looks like it was what is that, Wando that's picking up from?
Yep, that was there coming out of Wando, and it's some type of machine. I still didn't know what kind of machine they was trying to tell me, but I said, hey, it really wasn't heavy. It was just wide and actually wasn't all that long. I think maybe 20 feet long, just wide. I think she was about 10 wide.
Now, did you have to have permits to pull it? Did you have to?
Yeah, anything that's anything over 8.5 wide, must have a permit. And same as with containers or dry vans, anything over 13.6, you have to have a permit. And of course, if you're over 80,000 pounds, GVWR required permits. But a lot of times I see it best to just get a blanket permit, which lasts for the year. Because for me, as I've been doing it, I see it's time consuming every time you get a load that's over dimension or heavy. You always got to call in and get permits and get aggravating time and TD. So it's cheaper to buy a blanket permit as opposed to every time you get a load spending $60 here, $100 here, or whatever the case of the states, because each state is different. So you just rather just buy a blanket permit and go from there, which lasts up the year, and you can just in and out.
So the blanket permits just cover you for overweight, right? Mm-hmm. Right, Kev? The blanket permits are just for overweight?
Yeah, it'll cover you. Overweight and width and height. You can
so you can get annuals for width and height as well? Okay.
So it allows you, and it's also cheaper, Steve. Like I said, each state is different. So, as opposed to getting a load and you got to get a permit for here, you're spending $60 or $70 or whatever the case. Then you go to the next state and you're spending the same thing. Well, actually in state. So you might as well just buy a blanket permit and save your money. And that way you don't have to worry about wasting time on the phone. Like I normally use comp data for my overweight permits. So it's just better to deal that way. And that machine there is the, I call them the paver. They pave the highways. They actually cleans the highways, pick up the old pavement, scrape them up, and repave it.
How heavy was that?
There's always a lot of machines. That one right there, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't all of that heavy. 50-something thousand pounds, I believe it was.
Okay. So when this comes off the vessel, this is on a flat rack, right? And then when it gets put on the ground, it gets deveined at the port from the flat rack, and then you come in and pick it up right on your RGN, right?
Yes, sir. And 90% of it is loading myself. Each location is different for let's just say rental companies and things like that, like NED, Herc Rental, United. Each company is different. Some require you to load and offload, and some prefer to do it themselves just in case, they don't want to have dealing with tearing up your trailer, as they say. But I'm like, dude, hell, it's just a piece of steel. I mean, but, I get it. They don't want to be responsible for anybody's equipment, which I understand, because once I receive it, it's in my possession and I'm responsible for it. So I totally get it. I don't want to tear up nobody's machine either, especially if you got $1 million equipment on the back.
So Kevin, when you pull into the port, so you did drayage, standard traditional drayage before you got into this heavy haul. When you pull into the port, is the operation the same? Do you have to, because I know typically you have to pin a container when you get under the kiosk, but in this case right here, it's not on a container. It's already deveined from it.
Already in the yard. Yeah, no, it's totally different, Steve. With us, We don't have well, like Wando, for instance. You've been in Wando, you know,
Yep.
once you come through the security code, if you want to get a container or your box, you got to pull up to the key gate to the kiosk or have a gate code. As
Right.
soon as I come in to the big warehouse, everything is staged there. All I have to do is show them my paperwork, tell them what container number it came off, and that's it. They load it and back out. So I don't have to worry about going into the actual port like through the kiosk. And it's also the same with the one on Meeting Street as well. Once I do the post, actually have to go inside there and give them the serial number and all that is, the machine it would be, and just go out and put it up. So it's pretty much no gate code. A little different than actually dealing with the containers.
Now, Kevin, can you hear us? You got us?
I can
You
hear
there?
you guys for some reason. I don't know why. I'm in the middle of the highway and I'm one bar.
Okay. Okay. All right. Can you share a little bit about a big thing that comes up in this space is definitely around the permits. And given that we're rolling heavy so often, can you talk a little bit about how far does a permit stretch and what all does it cover?
Well, all permits cover state to state. Each state is different. Like I said, some states cost more than others. Some state less. Some state you can run at night. Some states you can't. You know, it all depends on that state of where you're going. So once you call in for your permits, they'll pretty much let you know the circumstances of that state and what.
Okay. And how long is it? Only just for that single run, or yeah,
Yep.
You got us
For that single run.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys hear? Each run is different. No matter every machine you pick up, if it's overweight, over width, over height, you have to have a permit. And like I said, each state is different. So once you get a permit for that state, that allows you to run through that state. But if you're going into another state, then you have to have a permit for that state as well. So let's just say if you got to cross 4 states, you have to pay for each state that you're crossing, which, could be, all depends on your weight, your size, all of that factors in of how much that permit would actually be. The heavier it is, the taller it is, the wider it is, the more it's going to cost.
So what's so you got the annual permit, so that's for the entire state of South Carolina, correct?
Uh-huh.
What's the cost savings on that compared to just, getting a permit here and there? I mean, if that's your main business, like what do you see that taxing up to, for savings?
Yeah, well, here in South Carolina, it seems like each year it goes up different, Last year I paid what is it, $300 something for the year. But now you have a Georgia I wound up paying a little more. Georgia was almost $500 for the state of Georgia, which goes back to, like I said, each state is different. So you have to know your weight, your width, your height, so they can determine, how much that permit would be. But
And
normally, state of South Carolina, it always fluctuates. So.
And that's per vehicle, so it's not just a blanket permit, Hunter, for your company. It's per vehicle that you're getting that for. So Kevin, you're doing that for how much? Your $300 for South Carolina is for 2 trucks, must be?
No, 1 truck, just my truck, just 1 truck.
Oh, okay.
And it lasts.
So does that cover overweight and out of gauge with that same permit, or is that just overweight?
That's overweight. It allows me to be up to 110,000 pounds heavy gross weight, and it allows me to be up to 12.6.
Okay.
Now say I only did like 5 overweight moves a year. What would a single run permit cost?
For what? Doing
Yeah. Say I just had a one-off, or Steve has a one-off. He's got a guy that wants to run it. You guys are busy or whatever. What would that cost to get those permits just for that one move?
that one move, well, it all depends on what state you're in.
So let's say South Carolina, since that's what we all know, or you guys know. Because I'm just trying to like compare. Because I mean, like $300
South
for one
Carolina,
truck for a year sounds great, but if it's like 150 for one move, like that's kind of crazy.
no, state of South Carolina. If one move in state of South Carolina, it would probably cost you what, $60.
Yeah, it's like 60, 70 bucks.
Around there. 60,
Yeah.
70
Okay.
bucks.
Dang.
Yeah.
What's
Now,
the
the
difference?
problem comes.
Sometimes
Now the problem comes when you
I
cross
mean,
state.
I've actually got a permit. I actually got a permit. This is maybe 2 years ago in South Carolina here, and the actual permit was only like almost $40, which I was happier than that. But then, you know, I go back and get another permit with another machine. You know, it was more. So that's why I say it always fluctuates. You know, the heavier you are, the wider you are, the taller you are,
Yeah.
the more it's going to cost.
How many loads you reckon you're doing a year oversized there, D-Walk?
You said in a year?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, now it's a little slow now. On the average, I run about 4 days, 4 or 5 a week, but now it's been kind of slow, so I'm down to maybe 2, maybe 3 days a week. So,
And that's all oversized out of gauge, or you still got a mix?
No, well, I mix. I mean, everything is not always oversized. I get legal weight stuff too, like maybe let's just say a 110 excavator. 110 excavator is only maybe 30,000 pounds, 8.5 wide and 10 tall. So I wouldn't need a permit for that. You know,
Yeah,
so
because
when that
I just did that math on
I won't have
300, man. You're paying for that permit in 5 loads, you know. I mean, at that $60 price point for a single one, so.
But here's where you get the advantage is in speed. That is a big part of it. So if we buy one just for the state of South Carolina, that's 300. Great, that's awesome. But when we get loads that are crossing states, and let's say they have a pickup time within the next 24 to 48 hours, having the permit helps versus requesting that permit, which can take what was about almost sometimes a week, sometimes.
It depends.
Depending on overload sometimes.
I know that. Yeah, I know the state depends because some of them go really quick.
Depends, and and that's why I try to tell people, if you like, you know, and I try to tell them it's easier to get a permit, the time consuming. I've seen guys wait a whole week just sitting there for a permit. So I would rather just a blanket permit, knowing that you run it in permit if you always in and out of that state.
So the one thing, so for us on the drayage side of it, where we're not doing out of gauge stuff, so it's just it's because it's containerized stuff. Ours is a flat rate. It only goes up. So for South Carolina, it only goes up to 100,000 pounds. For North Carolina, the max you can do is 90,000 pounds. In Georgia's 100,000 as well. But I'll tell you, Kevin, and I don't know if you've done anything in Tennessee, but Tennessee, they love their roads and they really love their overweight permits. So typically, Georgia for us is typically about $150, $160 for one permit because for the container stuff. Again, gets us up to it's standardized height and width, but it gives us up to 100,000 pounds. North Carolina is about 200 for the annual, but Tennessee is $750.
Oh yeah, Tennessee is. I don't set foot in Tennessee, Steve.
Yeah, well
just
we have
for that reason right there, man.
Yeah, so we have one lane that comes out. So we pull out a Greer. We pull out the inland port of Greer as well, and we have recycled material that comes out of Johnson City. So we have to have the overweight permits from there. But yeah, for Tennessee, it's $750. So different. So think about that, right? If you're pulling a container or anything, right, anything overweight out of South Carolina. Say you're pulling out of South Carolina port and it's going to Tennessee. I mean, you're looking at $1,000. You're looking at $1,150 for now. Those are annual permits, so you can do them, all year. But it's like $1,150, $1,200 for permits to take something from South Carolina to Tennessee because you have to pay for it for every single state that you're going through. So, and you got to be careful too because we were like you have certain states like Alabama. and there's a couple of them, right, that it has to be like one item on there. I forgot the term. It was in my mind a second ago because we were going to talk about it. But if you have something that's on there that's multiple items, divisible loads, you can't go over a certain weight with those. So let's say if you take something that's overweight from, say, South Carolina, you're going to run it to Texas, and you have to run through some of these states that have those laws. Now you have to, you can't run through certain states depending if it's a divisible load or not, being overweight. So there are so many rules a truck driver needs to know. And it's not just a standardized DOT rule that applies to all 48 states. It's separate depending on the state that you're running to. So, you gotta, when you're doing this heavy haul shit primarily and that ag stuff, man, Kevin, I get hats off to you, man, because you got to know your shit.
You got to. And Steve, honestly, you guys, that's why I only run 4 states. I get a lot of feedback. A lot of people ask me, well, why you don't run out west or why you don't run Midwest? Well, one, the rate is not always a good rate. That's the first thing. Especially now, they want you to run 1,000 miles with a 60,000-pound machine and only want to pay $3 a mile. That's not happening. So, that's another, like I said, that's the only reason why I really run 4 states. For that, 2, each state is different, and that's a lot of stuff to remember, Steve, to go through, to know the laws. I'm not trying to go through all of that. So I stick with my 4 states where I know the law and where I can get around and actually move without any problems. So I just stay in my lane. And I'm cool with that. I don't knock nobody else for riding the road, but that's just me. I'm cool with that, and I'm home every night. I can sleep peacefully. That's a lot to remember.
So Kevin, how did you get into the oversized stuff?
Well,
what was that first load like?
Oh man, I almost shit it myself. I got into it. I got a mechanic, heavy haul, and actually I bought this whole setup from him that I have now. He had his nephew running for him out in the Midwest, and I guess things went sideways with that. And he had the truck sitting in his shop, and it was sitting there for about a month. And I was always curious about it, but I was kind of nervous to go out about it. But I was always, curiosity. I wonder how this heavy haul really is. I wouldn't mind trying it, just to see. So when I walked in one day, he was like, hey, there's the truck in the trailer. You've been wanting to know about heavy haul. I'm like, okay. So what are you saying? He said, take the truck and go do it. And that's just what I did. I took the truck and did my homework, man, looking up on things. And then I was just like, well, the next best thing is just to get out there and do it. So, as I got out there, I just started talking to everybody. Every guy I saw with a low boy or drop deck or that's running oversized, I started speaking to everybody. Excuse me. I was just out there trying to gain as much knowledge as I can, being that I was new to it. Excuse me. And now, 3 years later, here I am. So I tell anybody, you just have to get out there and do it.
That's awesome.
Now, can you tell us some of the craziest stories or experience you had in your early days that you learned that you now know how to handle, but that was a big deal when you first started getting into some heavy haul stuff?
As far as what, heavy hauling or just trucking?
Yeah,
period?
heavy haul, specifically.
Yeah, I'll ask the question when you're done with that one. I want to hear some of your crazy ass drayage stories, but answer Brandon's question first.
Well, heavy haul, I had to learn to chain up. First when I started. The guy that had the truck, he didn't have the proper, the correct chain size. With heavy haul, you got to have half-inch chains and bigger. So I had to get more equipment, and stuff. And learning to tie the machines down. But one thing I think would be learning how to drive them. Like I said, with this, 90% you load yourself. So, I knew how to drive excavators, wheel loaders and barely excavators. But once I got into this, man, I had to learn how to drive them. I think the craziest thing I drove is a drilling machine. Now that scared me. I had to pick one up off Brunswick, Georgia, in the port down there. And Steve, I get in this thing, I see buttons and levers, but I'm like, how the hell do you move it? So, as typical as anybody else would, you just start hitting shit. You just started hitting buttons, and the damn drill started drilling and going off. Man, you should have seen my face. But yeah, I think that's it's a lot of excitement, man. I think that's the most fun for me, just driving everything.
You thought you were digging for gold when that drilling machine started going off. He thought he was going for gold.
Man, that and what else I had to get used to loading excavators. Because, you know, once the tracks, you know, you get up on the trailer and it gets in the middle, they like to rock. So my very first time, I got one and I had to load it. And when I got to the middle and it rocked to go back to lean forward again, Steve, I thought I had to check my drawers. I was about to jump out of it. I just knew I was about to flip over. So once I got used to that, I was pretty good. So now you know, everything's once you've done one, they pretty much all the same. Tie down points with machines. Live drive is just a different name brand.
So this, this machine right here. I know Kevin. I think he just did this one yesterday, right? In Charlotte.
Yeah, that's
you guys just picked it up yesterday, and then you just dropped it off today.
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
This thing is cool as shit, Hunter. And you hear me talk about my recycling customers all the time. Yeah. This is what they have there. So this cab right here, the white cab right here, that thing raises up and down. So you can literally be whatever you're dumping in. So if you're dumping in a like an open top container or whatever, you can literally be you can lift up high, like the cab will be up here. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but the cab will be like up here, about middle of the way up that and it's cool as crap. And you can all kinds of.
Yeah, that machine, the whole cab lift in the air, like you said, Steve.
Yep.
Like if you want to see what you're loading, the whole cab comes up.
Yeah, so they put like magnets on the end of this thing. They can put grabbers. They can put all kinds of stuff on here. We used to call them the elephants when those things, because I mean, watching that thing go up and down, and then with the big trunk, it was like you got the body, you got the head, and then you got the big ass trunk. But those are really cool piece of machinery right there. And I don't want to say it's a smaller one. They have them bigger than this, and they're freaking huge.
Oh, yeah. That one there is that one right there was 57,000 pounds. I think the biggest one I took was 80,000, but hell, you got some of them over 100,000.
That's crazy. Do you know where this one was going to?
Because I'm looking at even the smallest one. I think it's one smaller than that. The smallest one I've seen and held, that one was still about 40-something thousand pounds. So they definitely are heavy.
So how does this get loaded up onto the vessels? That's what I want to know. Was this one going on a ship?
But no, that one actually that one was in a yard. Okay. And but they also come on the port too. I have grabbed one off the port. And I had to load it myself. Now, as far as I don't know if it comes in a flat rack because they already have them out. So I don't know if they come in a flat rack. Now, some of them.
Yeah, they have to come in. They have to come off a flat rack. Yeah. So I don't. But the question is, I don't know if they take the ends off, or most of the time, like I think these might get lifted off of a crane, off the flat rack onto the ground.
I'm pretty sure they lift them off with a crane. I don't think you can actually drive them off.
No, you can't drive them off because both ends on a flat rack are.
That's right. So you can't drive them. Get a crane off them.
Yeah, because you figure on a port vessel.
The fun thing I've seen, not this machine. I have seen them.
Well, there's
flat rack, and would you believe they don't use chains to tie them down? They use actual straps. I'm like,
Yeah, so you can actually see in this video right here. This is a forklift. Sorry, Kevin's got a little bit of a delay, but you can see the forklift that's on Kevin's RGN here, and you can actually see one of the elephants. I'm going to keep calling it elephant because I like calling it the elephant. You can see one of the green elephants in the background, where that one at one point. And this is at the port right here, right, Kevin? When you're picking this up, this is at the port because I can see a kiosk and stuff in the back. So, and it's got one of the elephants in the background. So.
Yeah. Now that was I was actually on Columbus Meeting Street. I was on the airport.
Yep.
That's what that one. Majority, well, actually, all the machines comes off Meeting Street, downtown Charleston, and pretty much the crates and anything else would come out of Wando.
So if it's coming out of Meeting Street, then those might not be on a flat rack. They may be drive in and drive off because Meeting Street.
Yeah, those they drive off. Drive off.
And say if it comes out of Wando, it has to be on a flat rack or North Charleston or Hugh Leatherman. But yeah, Meeting Street's a little bit different because that's where the cars and stuff come off as well.
Exactly.
So yeah, they're drive in, drive off the ship there. That makes a little bit more sense.
Yep.
What's I'm gonna pull up 5, Brandon.
Okay.
What's in there, Kev?
Now,
what's in the big blue boxes?
Some more machines. It was a machine, and I think the smaller ones that you see on the back was the actual parts, I think, that goes to it.
Okay.
So, like let's say excavators, all wheel loaders. Sometimes I'll get them and they don't have the bucket on it. So I have to load the machine and then they'll take a forklift or whatever and put the bucket or whatever parts on the back there that I have. So sometimes some machines come fully put together, and then some of them don't.
We're saying that. So I'm looking at some numbers here. It's saying 40% of Charleston's imports exports are construction gear. So cranes, bulldozers.
Yep.
Yada yada. Which
they get a lot of machines and cars in there in Meeting Street. And now, I think for Savannah now, they shut down Savannah on the Savannah port. And all of their machines now and everything oversized is coming out of Brunswick port, Brunswick, Georgia. So anything now that's coming out the port. Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Brunswick's always been big on the roll-on, roll-offs, a bunch of cars and stuff. So that, honestly, it makes sense. Just a different flow in port.
Yeah, and it's more room to get around down there in Brunswick Port. Savannah Port is, that's a clusterfuck. they'll run you over in there if you're not paying attention, man. Those guys just be fucking zooming through there. I'm like, oh my God, y'all don't know the meaning of slow down, do y'all? They don't care.
Smell like Long Beach.
No, man, I'm telling you, and I found that out when I was pulling containers, and I started pulling out of Savannah. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm complaining about Charleston. Nah, I'll stay in Charleston. You guys down here is. Now, one thing I would give Savannah Port, when it comes to their reefer units, they're like that with their reefer units.
That's what I've heard.
There's no line. There's never a line. You pull right up, they come bring the gen set and put it on you. And I spoke with the guy that runs it. I can't remember this gentleman's name. But I talked to him, and I said, well, this is crazy. I don't have no lines. And he looked at me. I don't believe in no goddamn lines. We don't do no damn lines here in Georgia. I say, my man, you all right with me?
The one thing Georgia has different, too, that Charleston, and I don't know about the other ports in the country, but 5 different people can go and go port with the same container number, and they can all pin it. And then the first one that gets there gets it. In Georgia,
say that again, Steve?
So you can have like 5 different companies go into GoPort, and they could pin a container, and everybody's going to get a pin number for it. And whoever gets there first and gets it, and then the rest of them's pin doesn't work because it's already been gated out. In Georgia, if, say, I pin a container, and then you try to pin it, I have to go in and delete and cancel my pin before it'll allow you to actually pin yours. So Georgia has a little bit more security around pinning containers, where
I didn't know South Carolina was like that. I mean, when I was doing this, Steve, well, I never ran across nobody trying to, take the same container I was trying to take out. But I didn't know the system would allow you to do that. If you already got a pin, how could anybody else get that pin?
It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't until that. Now, once somebody goes in it and they gate it in, now the other person can't. Or they go in the kiosk. They can't change it. But yeah, it allows multiple people to get pins.
That's crazy. Like you say, you not know if your load's secure or not. The security reasons, like if anybody can just pin it.
Yeah, because we and I noticed because through the brokerage firm that we have, there was a customer of mine that had a load that was supposed to be picked up from Savannah, and it was going to Tennessee. Well, the particular carrier that was doing it couldn't do it because it was overweight granite, so they had to actually cancel it, and they couldn't do it. The customer called me and had us pick it up from Savannah and actually bring it to their Charlotte location. But in order for me to go in and pin it, or actually the carrier that I had that was doing it, that was going to pin it, it wouldn't let him pin it until I got a hold of the other company and had them delete it.
Wow. Well, it looked like I just learned something new today from the Drayage.
Yeah.
Guys. Wow.
But there's times in Charleston that I'll have something pinned through Cleves, and then because I was going to originally do it, but then I'll give it to, like, say, my buddy with Paperboy, and I didn't cancel my pin yet. My pin's still out there active as hell, and I gave it to him to do it through the brokerage firm, and he was able to pin it and still get it out. So I know for a fact you can have multiple ones there, so it's kind of weird.
Wow, yeah, that's definitely weird, man.
Yeah. So what's
that's like, well, what if somebody takes the container? How would you find it if you don't know who the hell has it?
Well, you know who got it. You know who got it because whoever pinned it. Yeah, whoever pinned it, the company that has it. So you'll know which of them took it out. But
Gotcha.
Kevin, what's this big son of a bitch?
That's an articulate dump truck that you see on the side of the road at all construction sites. That's actually that one there is about 55, but then you got the Caterpillar one, the 745, is actually around 70-something thousand pounds, I believe it is. So those actually come in different sizes as well, and you got different brands. So you got the Bell, then you got the Caterpillar, and you got the Hyundai. So you got different brands, but they all pretty much drive the same. Now, with the Caterpillar one, I'm gonna tell you now, that scared the shit out of me one time too when I first drive it. The Caterpillar, once you get on a certain incline or level or wherever it's at, it'll tilt on your ass. It'll tilt side to side. Steve, were you talking about? I think I really did probably shit myself that time. I believe I did. My very first time, and that shit tilted. You could not tell me that I did not flip over. I'm trying to tell you that. Because the whole thing would just...
Well, because that's what it's designed to do when you're on
exactly.
a hill or whatever, like in the gravel areas that they're working.
Yeah,
they're designed to tilt and to move all around. But you don't think about it doing that when it's on your trailer.
Yeah, no. And Steve, more importantly, picture it doing it when you were in a turning and this time it's just tilt on you. You cannot tell me you don't feel like you about to turn over. I had to get used to that. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, that one, the Caterpillar one, they actually tilt. I'm like, Jesus Christ. It might be some other brands that the new ones probably that's tilting too. I haven't ran across one of them, but
I wonder if there's a locking mechanism or something like on the suspension, like a hybrid car or like an electric car. How they have the car wash mode on it when you go into a car wash with electric code. I wonder if these things have some kind of some kind of button. You probably pushed it when you were loading it and didn't realize. You probably thought it was the damn start button.
It was already like that, Steve. And when it cranks, it has to charge up. It has to charge the brakes. It'll come on and say charging brakes and charging something else. What's it? Accumulators. So I have to wait, let it warm up, and then it charges up the brakes and accumulators, and then you can move with it. But that tilting shit, oh man, I'm telling you, it'll scare the shit out of you the first time in there. Now, when you riding and turning, you just feel, boom, oh! Just think you're going off the cliff. But I wouldn't change it for the world. Now,
what do you weigh empty, right? Because obviously you need to know that before you go in and pick stuff, or just your truck.
I'm 42.5 empty. My truck.
So that's truck, your body, and your trailer. Okay.
Yep, I'm 40. I have a 3-axle RGN. rated at I can put 110,000 on there, but I haven't put that much on there. The most I put on there was 80,000 pound coil from Nucor up there in Charleston. That's the most I've put on it so far. Yeah. So, Steve, have you ever seen somebody hang off the side of their truck because the crane is trying to take a container off the chassis?
Have I ever seen somebody hang? Oh, you're talking because they didn't unlock the pins?
Yeah. My bad.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to hear your crazy drayage story.
Yeah, you asked about crazy drayage. So, check it. Years ago, I'm in the port, and the dude forgot to unlock the pins on the damn chassis. The crane goes to lift the truck up. Mind you, this dude, it starts to pick up the trailer, and he gets to yelling. He goes to grab hold to his truck door, and the shit pick him and the truck up off the goddamn ground, Steve. He was about 4 to 5 feet off the ground yelling, and everybody's like, "Let the door go, dummy! Let the door go, you dumbass!"
Wait a minute. Hold up. So the truck, the trailer, and the container, he was not in it originally. When it started lifting it is when he jumped up?
Yeah, because he was trying to wave the crane guy, so I don't know what made him decide to go grab his damn truck door or to go open the door. I'm like, what the fuck is that about to do right now? And next thing I know, his feet is dangling and we hanging. Let the damn door go. Man, I tell you, that was some funny shit.
Yeah,
my goodness.
I've seen a lot of pictures of it, online. I've never seen it myself. I mean, what I have seen in person, I've seen containers, the forklifts, the cranes drop them. I've seen them drop them on chassis like from 20, 30 feet in the air. I've seen one that I don't know how the driver survived it, but he did. It literally hit the corner of the back corner of the sleeper. But I can't imagine sitting in a cab. I don't care how good your air ride system is. You got a 30, 40, 50,000 pound container that literally gets dropped from 20, 30 feet in the air and slaps on your damn thing. Yeah. That's putting your ass through the roof. You're going to have a headache for a little bit after that.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't realize that it's everything you do in trucking is a dangerous job. From the stuff you deal with on the road, from the stuff that you're hauling, from especially when you're doing port work, container work. I mean, it's a dangerous job, and you have to be vigilant all the time on what you're doing out there.
You definitely. Now, isn't trucking considered? If I was reading, I think it was number 3 or number 4, like the deadliest.
So that's your rig right there, Kevin. Right? Sorry.
Yep.
So is that what you're in? Is that what you're in right now?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. But trucking considered about what, the 3rd or 4th deadliest job in the world now? I believe I read back here maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's up there, and then like roadside assistance might be number 1 or
wait,
close
you said
to
roadside assistance?
Yes.
Are you serious? Roadside assistance? How can that be the deadliest job in the world? Well, I guess.
Well, if you're changing tires on the side of the road,
dude, I'm telling you. All right, so we used to have a segment, man. We called it Tow Truck Tuesday, and it's like this guy has a car that is wrapped in names of roadside assistance guys that have passed away. It's because people get on the shoulder and nobody pays attention.
Well, you got a point
and
there.
A lot of them guys get wiped out, or they're too close to the road. You get a truck go by, and nobody thinks about all that force, so it'll, the wind will whip them up and throw them out in the street, and maybe not by, maybe not by amount of passings, but yeah, it's
okay.
It's up there, man.
I can see it because a lot of people really don't pay attention to when cars
or
trucks on the side of the road. They really
we did a news article on the Logistics Lounge a couple weeks ago, man. It's talking about like TA and some of these other truck stops, man. They're not offering it anymore. It's too dangerous.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it that way. That's why I always try to be courteous. I don't care if it's a car on the side of the road. If I can get over, then I'll just get over. But even I'll cut it close if I can. I'll try to straddle a little bit because,
that's the thing, man. Especially like in Tennessee, there's so much construction and stuff. And then, God forbid, you get someone on the side of the road. So, like, I'll slam on the brakes. I'll take a rear end before I, put someone's life in risk. But yeah, truck driving though. I mean, y'all are on the road for so long. Dude, even just in my time of taking road trips and stuff, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I get away with it most of the days, but
That's why I tell people, everybody, I want to do trucking because of the money. Stop looking at the money. My first question is, how long can you drive for one period of time? That's my question. Can you just sit and drive for 10 hours straight? Can you do that? If you can't,
and then wake up and do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Wake up and do it again. If not, this shit is not for you. Stay your ass out of trucking.
Because what you do yesterday?
Do you ever deal with damaged containers? So we started using RGNs for our damaged container that we get out because it's so much cheaper. If you can create some kind of ramping system to be able to pull the cargo out of it, it's so much cheaper just to use an RGN and disconnect from it versus putting it on a regular flatbed and then turn around having to get a crane on site to be able to unload it. So this was a little concoction because we'll get damaged containers all the time for our granite customer. So we concocted this little contraption and we'll just throw it on an RGN and deliver it there. So do you ever do anything in the damaged container segment of drayage, or do you?
No, I've never caught a damaged container. Someone asked me about pulling a container. Now I can't get a 40-foot back here, but a 20-foot, yeah. So I've never took one, but I'm waiting. Actually, I was supposed to take one maybe last month, and a broker called me about it. And Steve, I asked him, was it out of the container? Was it outside of the port? He tells me, yeah. So I get to the port and comes to find out it's inside the port.
Oh, that's the one you called me about.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I don't have my system anymore. I'm not in the port anymore, so I don't have GoPort, none of that no more. So I couldn't pin it. That's why I called you, and I'm like, shit, I can't take this. So I had to cancel the load because I couldn't take it. And then it was I don't know if he was Indian. You know, these foreigners get in it. And he was trying to tell me about the port. I'm like, dude, you guys know shit about the port. Y'all don't know nothing about the port. All you guys care about is getting your freight so you can get your money. Y'all do not know anything about the damn port and how it's operated. And it just had me so teed off because, Steve, I asked this guy about 5 times. Is this in the port or out the port? I need to know this because I need to know if I have to acquire a gate code for this. You know, you already know the operations. He tells me, I get there, throwing my usual pickup, and it's not there, it's in the port. And this dude get mad at me, and then he didn't want to pay me a tow new charge. I'm like, you know what, you keep your money. You clearly have no idea what the hell you're doing when it comes to the port. So, I'm quite sure you, Steve, you deal with it all the time. You know what it is now.
Oh, so, yeah.
It is what it is. It's the port, it's brokers. It's the drayage. What can we say, man? You either hate it or you love it. Shit. That's it.
Brannan, you were about to say something before and I apologize for that.
Oh no, I was just wondering about how sometimes you can't. Kevin, you mentioned sometimes you can't load them onto your trailer. You have to have a crane at the port sometimes.
Well, yeah. When does that happen? It all depends on what I'm picking up. You know, like the crate there. The crate they come on well, they have holes in them, so they load those with forklifts. But port, I've never had anything.
Construction equipment that needs to be on where they just have to pick it up and.
No, I've had generators and power supplies. Now they would have to use a crane to put that on me. I didn't send a picture of one of those.
Okay.
But yeah, some stuff, it all depends on what it is. Now I've had, it was a machine that required a crane to get they had to take off with me, but it wasn't not nothing to drive. I wanted to say, was that a generator like or something? And they had to use a crane to take it off me. So it all depends on what it is. Yep.
So what's next for you guys? And I don't care, D-Water, you can go first, or Brandy, you can go first. What's next for you guys?
Go on, B. You can go ahead.
Continue to get customers and trying to find an opportunity for more efficient shipping. I mean, that's the biggest thing that we care about, is making sure that there's an opportunity, not just for MBG alone, but we also help with a lot of other carriers and helping them get access to loads and have good relationships with customers and shippers directly. I think that's a big thing we focus on. We're going to keep doing that and trying to be more efficient in how we get products out to customers. That's the biggest thing that I think will help this the most, and make sure that it's equitable for both, for carriers, not just for shippers or brokers, but make sure carriers are taken care of.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's pretty much sums it up for me, Steve. What Brennan just said, just trying to find more carriers and more freight.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a big
kind of
thing.
hard to gauge right now the way the economy is going. That I know across the board it has slowed down for trucking, quite a bit. Flatbed, dry van, hell, I don't think it don't matter what you're pulling. If it hasn't slowed down, the rate is definitely not what it's supposed to be. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The rate has definitely slowed down.
Yeah.
So
But the cost hasn't.
Yeah. So, Kev, I noticed earlier, and I forgot if you named
Is
the
it like
state.
that on the Drayage sides?
Well, it depends. We've talked about this in the last couple of shows, and it's been interesting. So, last year at this time, we were 70-30 imports versus exports. And this year, probably about since June, our business has literally flipped, and we've been 70-30 exports. So we haven't even moved that many imports this year. Our business has literally been has been a ton. Well, I say that. I mean, one of our biggest customers import, but that's the steady business there. But I mean, most of all of our out of town stuff. I mean, we've got, again, even including the brokerage side of it, we've got 6 trucks, 6 loads right now pulling out of Grover today. That's export. We got one heading to Johnson City tomorrow out of the inland port of Greer. That's export. I mean, they exports of us has shifted. So, I think a lot of people that moved, straight up like warehouse type work, like say like the Walmarts and the Amazons and the Target distribution centers and stuff like that. I think it's definitely slowed down a lot for them. I mean, you don't see the traffic in the ports that you used to see. And, you can go on truckingnewshub.com and you can check out the port cams for Charleston and Long Beach and Virginia and Houston, and you can see the traffic that's going on in there. If you went back and looked at those same port cams, last year, I mean, trucks would just be lined up waiting to get in there. So I think traffic is definitely down for sure. But I think it just depends on, how diverse your business is. If you got a good mix of import and export, I think you can survive in this element right now. But yeah, I mean, we've seen it in the news. I mean, a lot of trucking companies going out of business, a lot of people downsizing. I mean, that was the same with us. Like, that was the reason Clint and I started, kind of went down the broker side of it as well, because we didn't want to just keep going and adding a whole bunch more to our fleet, not knowing what's happening, right? So we'd rather just build up the customer base and just run it through the brokerage and use our friends and family that have trucks and keep them going versus going out and investing, hundreds of thousands of dollars in a larger fleet when we're not 100% sure what the economy is going to look like right now. Yep.
Gotcha.
So you had mentioned earlier, Kev, you said that you run out of 4 states. I'm assuming, what are those 4 states?
North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and the farthest I go into Florida is Jacksonville.
Okay.
And people ask me, well, why you don't go further? I said, because like any other thing in Florida, there's nothing coming out of there. And if it is, it's not paying worth a damn. So a lot of truckers know it. That's all you hear from a lot of drivers, man. They hate going to Florida because you rarely can find anything out there. And if you do, it's not paying. So it's always good to find a good paying load if you got to go to Florida. You might as well make your money going in, because 9 times out of 10, you're definitely not going to make it coming out of there.
And that's the one thing that I love about Drayage, right? Because it's 2 ways. It's a round trip, right? It's very, very rare that container is going to go somewhere where it's going to stay there and you're bobtailing back. There are a few, privately owned chassis or privately owned containers that stuff like that will happen. But 99.9% of the time, you're either going out with an empty and coming back with a full, or you're coming back with an empty because you went out with a full. So it's the one thing that's nice about Drayage is you don't have to go and try to find that return load, so you're not bobtailing back. Kevin, where can people find you if they want to contact you? I will throw a plug out there that you can reach out to Steve at ucwlogistics.com. Give us some overweights or out of gauge stuff, and I'll be more than happy to give it to my boy Kevin. So you can reach out to me if you got some of that stuff, and we'll get it in his hands. But if they want to reach out to you directly, Kev, where can they find you?
If you want to reach out to me directly, you can hit me on email, which is nbgllc2021@gmail.com, which stands for nothing but God. Or you can reach me on a business line, area code 803-997-3040. NBG Trucking, nothing but God, at your service.
Okay. Any closing comments before we turn it over to Brannan as well?
Nah, I just want to say thanks for being a part of the show. I really enjoyed you guys, man. This is my first podcast ever, and I know it won't be the last. I love it. And just glad to be a part of something great, man. And I love what you're doing, Steve, you and your partner there, man. And just keep going.
Appreciate that. That.
Yeah,
Brannan?
and you can find me. I'm on Facebook as well as all of the other social channels at the Rubric, TheRubrick. So that's where you can find me. But definitely happy to keep connecting, and we'll do this some more times. Keep talking trucking and freight. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Hunter, I'll get to you in just a second. The show wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for our friends at Shoreline Capital. So pause for a quick promotional break. And you hear us talking about and bragging about Clint and his team over at Shoreline all the time. It happened again, right? Had a customer, had a small credit rating from when we first initiated business with them. Hadn't done a whole lot with them in a while. Customer sent me about 7 loads coming out of Greer. So hit up Clint. Hey, can you take a look at this customer's credit, see if we have any room for advancement? He checked it out, went ahead and upped his credit limit, so we're able to go ahead and take those additional loads. So if you're looking for factoring, you want that family experience of just feeling like you're dealing with somebody with family, hit up Clint West and his team at ShorelineCapital.com. You definitely will not be disappointed. Freight Hound, what you got for us?
Man, Brannan, Kevin, thanks for hanging out with us today. It's always a pleasure to meet some good folks in the industry, and yeah, we'll definitely we'll be meeting up soon. Like I was telling Steve at the beginning of the show, we've been talking about this for a while. We need to get down there, and we'll do like some real life in-person shows, maybe do some documentaries, get in the truck with old D-Water there for a little bit, see what kind of crazy shit you're picking up, man. Do it right, represent it's now getting to my personal opinion, the best port in all of the United States. I mean, like you're talking about there, Kevin, man, it's like you go to Savannah or any of these other ports, man, it's just the Wild West. But Charleston seems to have gotten it pretty locked down.
Charleston's pretty easy.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, you guys are now official Drayage Junkies, by the way. So anytime y'all want to come on the show again, you're more than welcome. And yeah, y'all need to come to one of these truck shows soon, especially you, old Kev, man. You're gonna get you a new truck here soon.
I'm definitely got to come once.
I'm gonna try to drag Brannan to us to Matt's in March. I think that'd be a great show for him to come check out and come see. So we're gonna put that on the calendar and drag him to Matt with us.
Any of the shows you want to go to, yeah, Matt's is the one, because I mean there's something there for everybody.
Yeah,
all right.
What about you, Dirty Dray?
Hey man, just glad to be here. Glad to be here with my friends. I think that's the most exciting part that I love about this podcast is, number one, we love Drayage, Hunter, and we get to bring a lot of our friends on here that also love Drayage as much as we do, and talk about exciting stuff that's going on. So besides that, just got to check in with my mechanic, see if our truck's back up and running, so we can keep on moving these boxes around. But that's about it for me. Don't forget to check out truckingnewshub.com for all of your trucking news, as well as your port cams. IT Brian will continue to add more and more port cams. We do everything through an RSS feed, so sometimes we have to get a workaround to get some of these live feeds, so they'll refresh every 30 to 60 seconds for us. But he'll continue to add more and more port cams. If you have a port that you frequent and would like to see that those cameras on there, you can hit us up at cans@drayagejunkies.com, and we'll be more than happy to throw that on there. Until then, that's all I got.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, next week, I'm hoping that we can make this shake, but I just shot him a text. We'll have John, the CEO, owner of Freight Ninja Parking Solutions out of Chicago, who, come to find out, got his start in intermodal trucking, and his brother still owns a trucking company up there in Chicagoland. So gonna get to the bottom of that. But fellas, once again, thanks all for tuning in. Everybody that's tuning in now, if you're just now tuning in with us, be sure to go back, watch the show, learn yourself a little bit something here and there. But until next time, thank everybody once again. Have a safe and great rest of the week. I always think that, Steve, this show might need to be on Thursdays sometimes, because I always think it's the weekend. We just have too much fun for me to get through the rest of the week. But y'all stay junky, stay kicking them cans. We'll see y'all next time.